Okay, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back to the two-stroke turbo channel. You are not, in fact, looking at a two-stroke car. This is a modern, older car. Some call it a muscle car. It is a four-stroke Mustang with a V8. It's our old convertible, getting ready for the season. It has been cold and clammy for such a long time, although it's sort of nice today. But it's supposed to be 100 degrees this weekend, and I think this car needs to be driven, enjoyed, and also the radiator needs to not be overheating. So it has the original, I believe it's a one-row radiator. It is not plastic. It is all metal. I don't know if it's brass, but it's, I don't know, steel or something. And I put a electric fan on it to help it cool. I think it's plugged. In fact, I know it is. I pulled the drain plug off the bottom of this side tank and nothing came out. And I've flushed it a couple times before in the past. So today is new radiator day. We're taking out the old single row radiator. I got one of these. Pretty cool. It's triple row. It's really thick and it has two slim fans on the back. So we're going to try that out. I think it's going to make a huge difference. To review, this car is, what is it, 302 V8. I put Explorer heads on it, Explorer intake, and modified the fuel pressure, did a couple little bits. It's probably still the stock 225 horsepower, but it's pretty torquey. It's kind of fun. And I think I'm going to change the oil today and put the new radiator in and see if we can keep it from overheating. I'm not real happy with the temperature probe. This is how you turn the fans on. I've got a programmable thermostat for the fans. So I can turn the fans on at 135, 155, 165, 195, 205, whatever I want, which is really cool to have that control. But I have it down to 135 to try to just keep this thing a little bit cool. The fans run all the time, which means the alternator is trying to keep the fans running, which not drain the battery, but on a convertible, you need a lot of power to run the top. The top is hydraulic and electric, and you need a lot of power to keep the electric fans running. And I was like, geez, it's running at 8 volts all the time, and it just seems like it's, I don't know. It seems like the radiator's plugged. The radiator's original. Let's get it out of here. Let's put in a nice aluminum one and see the difference. I think that's going to make a big difference. That's what we're doing. Okay, so it's a little while later now. We have our 3-core radiator in our muscle car Mustang and dual electric fans. I got it all wired up. It's full of coolant. It's not leaking out. As I can tell, I did spill some, so I have rags under the car. And since I put the radiator in the car, we have acquired a new something or other. That's one thing. When you put a Mustang convertible on the lift, they don't have any top structure, so the whole car sags and the door is barely open. You can see the gap there opens up. These things are like spaghetti noodles when they flex so much. Stella, everybody in YouTube world wants to know what you're doing. You love this car. You can tell by all the white fur Stella has shed. It's amazing the door even shuts. Yeah, so let's get this thing out and let it warm up and see if the fans come on. Dusty old thing. Okay, so we got our car, our Mustang, out here warming up. I don't see any leaks. A little bit of a squeak from getting some water on the belts. Still lots of room between the spinning water pump and the fans. Don't know if I like how I did this. I may try to make a different bracket for that. We have, if you can tell, there's no luggage rack on this trunk. You can see the holes are here. I took that off to paint it at one point in time. There's a burn spot where I buffed too much and I went through the paint. I took off the emblem and there's a little bit of rust that's forming underneath here. I was going to fix that. But now, I don't know if you can tell, see all the scratches? Those are toenail scratches from, hey, you, dog. That's my dog. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. It's off the lift now. You can see the gap has closed. Doors aren't sagging. Underneath here, some cobwebs, I have a controller for the fan. So the temperature of the car right now is 95 degrees. That's the water temperature. And I can set, I think that's Celsius. I don't want that. I'm going to leave it where it is and see if it comes on at, I think I have it set for 145 degree temperature. And I'll just let it warm up here, let the fan cycle. I really think this fan and radiator setup is going to cool so much better. It took like an extra half gallon. It's way, way wider, and it is not completely plugged with debris, overspray, and I believe this radiator, the whole bottom didn't work. It was just completely clogged with sediment. So that's going to make a big difference. Let's see if it does. Okay, so the fans came on. I was wondering what that zinging noise is. I'm going to have to redo this. Oh, Stella, you want to go for a ride in a Mustang convertible, don't you? Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay, so Dad just got it all worked out. Took out the overflow bottle. I have to put one in a different spot. I have a couple of different versions of them. This is the factory one, which is supposed to go by the factory radiator fan. This is a Chevrolet one. Then I have multiple other just universal bottles. But I got to figure out if I can put it behind the headlight, so I have lots of fan heat escaping routes. I don't like to put it right back there and block all our fan ventilation space. It's going to be another day. Stella, on the other hand, wants to go home. She wants to get fed. Really like to go to the park, but I think she wants to get pet. You want to get pet? Pet, pet, pet. That's a good dog. Okay, so to finish up on the radiator replacement in the old Mustang, I incorporated an overflow bottle that I found that was used. So that was nice, free, just a bit of hardware. Ran a hose around my battery box, which I just noticed is falling over. I gotta fix that. As long as I can shut the hood, which I should be able to do, I think that's gonna work. So now we can do a test and actually set the probe up, which now the wire for the probe goes into this radiator hose instead of going through the fins. I hope it still will work that way. The probe sits right in this brass thing, and the probe's supposed to go through the fins. I never liked that. I always thought it could pop out. So let's give this a try and see how it works. Okay, so the way this works is my temperature gauge is reading halfway up in the normal zone. There's no numbers, so I don't know exactly what that means. However, I can control it under the glove box here. Let's see. It says it's 196. I don't know if you can read that or not. 195 now. And my heater's blowing good, because that's the problem with the convertible. You need heat in the wintertime. The top's down. And let's see what we got going on out here. 95. 113. See that? 90. Thermostat housing showing 180. That's perfect. I think this is going to work. And the biggest thing of all, the fans are on. They're variable. This is what's called a variable controller, and it's not sucking all my power. It's hot in here. So you can see the fans are on because my gauge, the voltage gauge is not above the middle. So it's, I should probably put a voltage, let me rev it up a little bit. See if it goes up. Okay. So it is sucking a little bit of a draw, but she's staying cool. I think it's a win. I was having such issues with this thing, electric fans, but I think I got it figured out. That makes me happy. Got to get it on the highway and see how she performs.